Sarah.
And I'm Anissa.
I'm Ayu. And also me, Naviani. And now let's have a look at our explanation video.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on guys, what we are going now? Nisa, we are going to tell our audience about reading techniques. So, let's start. Yes. In here, I will, for the first, I'm going to tell you about selecting techniques in reading technique.
And I would like to tell you about skipping technique.
And I would like to inform you guys about scanning technique. And last me, I want to explain about skimming.
What? Don't forget to skipping or skimming? Skimming. So, let's do it. So guys, in here I want to tell you about selecting reading material in reading techniques. So before in general, texts need to be developmentally appropriate and interesting for students because the more students can relate the information, the more likely they are to engage. And don't forget, try to select an appropriate material for the students and their grade or their level, because if you provide the text or the reading material that is an understandable reading, like an analysis of the bank including text for the students, that really make them only end in a frustration and disengagement. So in here, we have selected the reading material text or the reading material or reading text for students studying high school, which related to the understanding of the environment by using online newspaper of Jakarta Post. So, as we know that a newspaper provides a lot of information, but not the whole of information is appropriate for the student. So what we're going to do in here, we have to select which ones the text that relate to the student needs or which one is not. So let's take it about what we have done in selecting reading material. So guys, in here we have already selected the reading text by using online newspaper that entitled Indonesia Needs China More Than China Needs Indonesia from the Jakarta Post. And also, as you can see that newspaper can be used as reading materials for teaching learning. And in here, we would like to tell you that we select the material of newspaper by looking at the title. This is the one of reading techniques that consists of skimming, scanning, selecting, and also skipping. So in here, I'm going to tell you about how we select the reading material from online English newspaper. In selecting, we only look at the title and also general the information from the passage and the content. Like this, select the word by word. Is it difficult for student or not? Is it make sense for their understanding? Yeah. And also, I want to inform you that why we select this one is because this is the hot issue and can be learned by students for their knowledge of country situations. So that's it. To sum up, it's easy to understand, familiar for students because this is happenings to the country. Indonesia needs China more than China needs Indonesia.
Now I want to explain about skimming. Skimming is reading a text quickly to get general idea of a meaning. It can be contrast with scanning, which is a reading in order to find specific information. Example, a learner taking a reading exam decided to a text by looking at the title, introduction, and any diagram, and subheading, and then skim reading to get a clear general idea of what the text is about. Skim is specific reading skill which is common in reading a newspaper, message and email. It is important that learner understand that there is no need to read every word when skimming. So often a teacher set this as the time task to encourage speech. So let's see what skimming can do in Jakarta Post newspaper.
Okay, let's see skimming in newspaper in Jakarta Post. When you read a newspaper, you are probably not reading word by word. Instead, you're skimming the text. Skimming refers to the process of reading only main area within the passage to get an overall impression of the content of a reading selection. How to skim in this newspaper? The first one, read the title. Okay, you can read the title. Title is Commentary Indonesia Needs China More Than China Needs Indonesia. And then the second one is read the introduction or first paragraph. Read first paragraph or introduction, and then read the first sentence of every other paragraph. Read the first sentence in other paragraph, and then notice any picture, chart or graph when have in this text. When have picture, and then notice any italic or boldface word or phrase. You can, and then read the summary. Read the summary or last paragraph. That is usually the conclusion. Okay, you can read the last paragraph. That is the last paragraph. Read because usually the conclusion the text.
Okay guys, I would like to continue the explanations about scanning in a reading. What is the meaning scanning in a reading? Scanning is a reading technique to be used when you want to find specific information quickly. In scanning, you have to question in your mind and you read a passage only to find the answer, and you can ignoring unrelated information. Scanning involves searching for a particular place of information in the text, such as particular number, particular address, particular time, and etc. When do we scan reading text? We can use to search for key terms. When you know what you are looking for, you can check text to find the information. And it's really good to use when there's a meaning whether a source will have the answer you are looking for. What do we scan in our daily life? We can use online newspaper, dictionary, telephone directory, timetable, TV schedule, and a particular date in a book. There are some steps for scanning. Look for keywords. The first one is look for definitions. Look for highlighted words, example words in bold or italic. And the third one is look for numbers. For example, dates, statistics, and maybe diagrams. And what does scanning can help you in your reading text? You use this technique when you are really in a hurry to find specific information from a text, or when using a dictionary, reading through an index or content list, or browsing through TV schedules. And let me know you how to scan your reading. The first one that you have to do is state the specific information you are looking for. And the second one is try to anticipate how the answer will appear and what clues you might use to help you locate the answer. For example, if you were looking for a certain date, you would quickly read the paragraph looking only for the numbers, right? And the third one is use headings and any other aids that will help you identify identify which sections might contain the information you are looking for. And the last one that you have to do is selectively read and skip through section of the passage. For example, a learner taking a reading test needs to scan a text population rates quickly to find if a series of statements about the population figures are true or false. So the learners only scanning the paragraph that related to the topic. So it was really saves time and easy for the learner itself. By using online newspaper of Jakarta Post, scanning can also be applied into. And now let's have a look in online newspaper of Jakarta Post and title Indonesia needs China more than China needs Indonesia. So guys, I have online newspaper of Jakarta Post here on the screen, as you guys can see. And I would like to tell you about how scanning technique in a reading text work. Okay? And let me show you first the questions, the example of question. So yeah, if there is a question like this, yeah, what is an information that Lee will announce in his meeting with Jokowi? So this question is talking about the meeting between Jokowi and Lee, right? And okay, now let's see again to the newspaper in detail by using scanning technique to get the information. As you guys can see, there are some paragraphs in this English online newspaper, but in scanning we just need to focus on the related information. So based on this online newspaper, there is a paragraph that related to the information. Yep, this is the paragraph that relating in the question. So the learners just focus in this paragraph to get the information. Yeah. And this is the example how we do scanning by using online newspaper. Yeah. We only need to see the main point that related the question of the information, and also we just avoid the unrelated information like this sentence that talking about their, your, and something like that, and we just avoid the another paragraph that unrelated information. So it's really good for the learners to save time, and it was really easy to get the information in a reading text. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Okay guys, now I would like to explain the another technique of reading, that is skipping. Skipping is a reading activity that ignores or skips parts that are not needed or parts that have been understood of the readers. And let's see the step in skipping reading. The first one is read only to the important part of reading materials, which is by skipping parts of the passage that are unnecessary or irrelevant or also already understood. For example, readers have read the first paragraph from the reading materials and they can skip the first paragraph to the another paragraph because they have been understood about the first paragraph, right? And the second one is use the regular eyes movement in which the reader makes a leap in the reading to the word groups, which is an expression of emphasis, and exactly leave a non-essential part. The purpose is to understand the intuition of the passage rather than the detail of parts. And the last one is train to increase concentration or high focus to find the keyword in reading. In this session, the reader should have a lot of vocabulary. And also here there are two important activities to do, such as the first one is stay away from the thing that causes the mind to become dispersive, such as don't think about girlfriend, boyfriend, or the other. And the second one is Give a serious attention to the reading materials, because if you read it as seriously, you will get the information that you need for answering the reading passage. The question I mean for reading passage. Okay?
Okay guys, here as you can see on the screen there is online newspaper different posts. Here I'm gonna explain to you how to skip in reading text by using skipping technique. First, you should remember the step in skipping. The first one is read only to the important part of reading materials and skip the passage that unnecessary or have been understood. For example, we have questions like, is Indonesia needs China more than China needs Indonesia? As can be seen in the first paragraph. Here, in the first paragraph is unnecessary information because it's unrelated to our question. So you can skip the first paragraph and continue to the second paragraph. If in the second paragraph you still can't find the information that related to the question, then skip it again and continue and still continue to the another paragraph and make sure you understand before you skip it until you can find the correct one of the paragraph that can answer the question. Let's see the last paragraph of this newspaper. In the sentence, we must realize that Indonesia needs China more than they need us. This paragraph surely can answer the question, is Indonesia need China more than China needs Indonesia? Because it's so clear, tell us that Indonesia needs China more than us need them. And let's continue to the second step. In the second step, use the regular eyes movement. Means that don't make sound or read word by word when you read the reading materials. Just keep your read and continue your reading. Don't make a sound like we must understand China's economics and so on. And also don't read word by word like position for China, we are just don't do this one. And let's see the last step. That is, train to increase concentration when you read the reading materials. There are two activities that you can do in this step. The first one is stay away from the thing that causes the mind to become dispersive. This means that don't think about the other things when you read. Just focus to the materials that you read. Here we read the newspaper and the title, Indonesia needs China more than China needs Indonesia. So just focus to your reading passage. And the second one is give a serious attention. Again and again, use your attention only to the reading materials that you read because you need the information of the reading materials, right? So guys, enough from me. Thank you. So guys, thank you so much for watching our video.
Hopefully it can be useful and helpful in learning.
And hopefully it can be applied for you guys when you want to test reading skill. Enjoy our video and